Welcome back to the ProSource Podcast. Today I am sitting here with Patrick Warren. He's going to talk to us about Daltile and specifically their Made in the U.S.A. campaign that they have rolling out. Patrick is the Vice President of Dealer Sales and Showrooms at Daltile. Daltile is the industry-leading brand of ceramic, porcelain, glass, and metal tile, as well as natural stone, large format tile, and countertop products. Thank you so much for joining me today, Patrick.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
And I know you've been in this industry for a long time. I was actually stalking your LinkedIn page a little bit before this conversation. And I just wanted you to share first how you got started in this industry and then how that journey translated into Daltile.
Well, it's always good to start with a funny story. And again, thanks for having me here, Molly. So I got in the industry completely by accident. I was, long story, fun story. It's better over maybe a bottle of wine with a bunch of customers. But I was actually looking into getting a grant because I was getting my business degree and I got a fax number wrong and a recruiter called me and it ended up being for Milliken Carpet, which started my career in 1996. So I completely accidental. And then I worked for Milliken for about 9 years and then went to Columbia Hardwood, which was subsequently purchased by Mohawk, and they moved me to Dallas 18 years ago. So I've been a dealer person my whole career. I love it. And for the matter, I've been involved with CCA from day one, which has been great. So
yes,
long career,
perfect. Good
career. It's been good to me, good to my family, and good to it's a great industry. I love it.
That's awesome. And how long have you been with Daltile specifically?
Well, I was part of I kind of worked through the whole Mohawk Industries group. Part of that period, I was with a group called Unilin that was kind of housed Quick Step, Columbia Hardwood, which I came from, Mohawk Hard Surfaces, all that on the Dow campus. And I left for 4 years and came back 5 years ago. So I've been with Dow really 5 years, part of the whole family since really 2007.
Gotcha. And I know you know a lot of lore about Daltile because last time you were at CCA, you were letting us know how it got started in Dallas, Texas.
Yep.
And just wondering if you could share any more insight into that for the people listening. How has the brand evolved since the early days of starting out?
It's a great story. I mean, today, here we are 78 years later. Two brothers started it. One was in Monterrey, Mexico. One was in Dallas, Texas. They started for whatever reason. I don't know. I believe it was wall tile. There's some need. Something was out there. And through a series of moves and the company had highs and lows and was purchased and sold several times, came around, purchased by Mohawk Industries, and that really rocketed our business north. Today we sit with roughly close to 300 locations. We have sales service centers really where everybody's located. We want to make sure we can get tile to where that project and that need is going to be. We have stone centers, almost 40 stone centers. We have, one of my responsibilities is I have responsibility for our 113 Daltile-owned company showrooms that are scattered throughout the country and have different types of showrooms, depending on the market. And then, what I would say what Mohawk Industries has allowed us is the opportunity to develop and create proprietary technology that feeds our three core businesses, which would be commercial, new residential, and then our dealer business, which is the largest market that we compete in from a market point of view. So awesome. Dow has really great, rich history. I love the 78 years. The theme of this is going to come up again, but here we have 11 manufacturing plants in North America between U.S. and Canada and Mexico. And right now they're tariff free. So that's a pretty good story to tell.
Yes. And that is kind of where we're going to go with this conversation, is just learning more about your Made in the USA products and I guess why you guys continue to focus on those products that are made in the USA. First, I wanted to ask about the Dallas, Texas, and the Daltile of it all, because I did not know this when I found out like a few months ago when you were visiting, but Daltile's name actually started because it was originated in Dallas, Texas.
Correct.
So it was, you have the Dal and then Tile. I thought that was a fun fact.
It was Dallas Tile Company. Started here in Dallas. Yeah. And then interestingly enough, and if you go back and you talk to some of the veterans of Dow, and that's one of our strengths, it's amazing. Every quarter we'll have people at the 40 and 45 year anniversaries.
Wow.
But our first sales service center was not Dallas. It was actually in Tampa. For what?
Oh,
who knows? I don't. I'm sure there was a customer there that needed this facility, but yeah, no, it's Daltile. You'd be surprised at how many people, even when they come to visit our corporate office, they're like, "Oh, Daltile, Dallas." Like, it's so obvious. It's not obvious.
I did not even realize. And then when you spilled that lore on us, I was like, oh, I'm kind of a dummy. How did I not realize that?
I mean, listen, you are not alone. Everybody has that change. So.
For sure. So you talked about some of the locations in North America. What benefits does Daltile have with having all those manufacturing plants in North America? Maybe aside, of course, when I think of being made in the USA, I think of two reasons why people love that. One, the tariffs, like you just mentioned. That is definitely at the forefront, especially right now in 2025. Big ongoing issue for trade pros and businesses. And then also, you have another section of people that really just value businesses, products being made in the USA. That's just a core belief that they have. Are there any other reasons that we might not know about that make it important for Daltile to have those manufacturing plants in the US?
Well, I think if you look, tile's a fairly simple product to make, very complex in how we actually fire it in our kilns, but I mean, it's really a clay and a pressure and heat, right? Those three things. The clay in the United States is very good. So we get, for example, you'll see a lot of facilities. We have several facilities in Tennessee. Tennessee has very good soil and clay for us to manufacture that. But I would say our foundation started here. I would say that adding Mohawk's direction, it would be, if we can make it in the U.S., our option would always be to make it in the U.S. And obviously, Mohawk Industries has quite a large number of facilities located in North America, and as do we. And we would continue to go down that path. It's not, over the years, it's not been the easiest avenue at times. You had the, heavy influx of Chinese products. And by the way, we're not like, I'll tell the story about being tariff-free in those 11 plants, but we have products that we do import, and we have impacts from around the world. But we believe that if we can make it domestically, that's where we'll look first.
Absolutely. Do you think with 2025 and these tariffs, has that influenced the strategy looking forward into the next couple of years for Daltile to maybe focus more on building out in the U.S., or has it just kind of stayed maybe the same, consistent?
Well, I think our strategy has been fairly consistent as far as core strategy overall. Providing products at the right price, right time, right value, right texture, right technology when they need it. So I don't think that's ever changed. But yeah, sure. I think if you look at the landscape is changing. Are there products that we import? And some of the products that we import are just products that are more likely to be imported. There's mosaics, for example, that come from overseas. Can we do those domestically? Yeah, we're going to look at all of that. It's better to really fulfill the Daltile workforce making products domestically, but we're not opposed to international plants. And we have our global ceramic division is a large division of Mohawk Industries. I believe the largest. We have plants all over Italy, Europe, Russia. There's a large number of facilities that we can tap into.
Yeah. So this Made in the USA campaign, very cool campaign idea. When you brought it up a few months ago, I thought it was perfect, especially for in the summer. It's definitely a perfect summer campaign. Can you share a bit more about this campaign and how anyone that's listening to this podcast can get involved with it or learn more about just Daltile's US made products?
Love to. If you look at, again, kind of tapping back into our history, I mean, that strategy hasn't changed. None of this is new. This is just telling the story that we've had for 78 years. We have 9 manufacturing facilities in the U.S., most in that southeast kind of rim. We have 2 in Mexico. They manufacture, up to 500 million square feet, which is, I don't even you can get your head around that. It's a huge number. And what's exciting about that is when the tariffs vary, there's uncertainty in the world right now because of the tariffs. What does that mean? What do I need to do? And we're not exempt from it at all. I mean, even though our plants are our products are manufactured domestically, or 86% of what we sell to ProSource, for example, is domestically produced, we still have impact from, for example, our equipment for the facilities. A lot of it comes from Europe. So that might impact. Some of the glazes may be impacted. We don't know, but the core products leaving are not going to have any tariffs on that. And what's exciting is we started looking at it and we said, okay, let's really tell this story. Because everybody's low. I love Made in America, but I think up until, I'm just going to speak for the public. I could be wrong. Some people probably challenge me on it, but I believe that a project, someone's building a project or envisioning a project, in the end, they're going to pick the product that's best for them, whether it's made in the U.S. or not. But I think now, the lever is kind of leaning more toward helping provide those products to them that are made in the USA. We went through all of our products. Now, the made in the USA, if you take out the two from Mexico, 2 facilities in Mexico, we have 72 styles, which is, I probably should have this number. It's thousands of SKUs. Because when you start adding in all the different sizes, the shapes, the colors, the mosaic that goes, everything, it's a lot, almost too much to focus on, which is crazy. So we have a story, but it's even hard to tell. So 72 styles on our website, Daltile.com. You can go up into the search bar, just type in Made in the USA, and it'll pop up a whole kind of microsite that talks about our story, but also has a live PDF of all 72 styles that are available today that are made in the USA. The best story out there.
I can attest. I did look at that too. And it was very well put together. I know on the ProSource side, we're going to be pushing out some of those product spotlights that are made in the USA on our social media. But just out of curiosity, is there any specific product styles off the top of your head that you favor? Like any favorites that you have?
I love our new products. And, some of the stuff that Daltile does that I'm super proud of is we have my three favorite things to talk about. We have 3 different technologies that are proprietary only to Daltile. And the third one, I'll talk about a specific product. I wish I could almost show a picture. But you have Defend with Microban. Microban eliminates 99% of the mold, mildew, and bacterial growth. Next is Stepwise. Stepwise is the best product that everybody needs to sell more of, including Daltile. We talk about it all the time. You can't see it. You can't feel it. You can clean it. A lot of times there'll be a topical treatment. We'll add a little grit to the top so you can feel the resistance if you're walking on it. And if you go to wipe a paper towel over, it's going to tear the paper towel up. That doesn't happen with Daltile. It's 50% more slip resistant than anything on the market, which is the best. Our newest one is called 3D Reveal Sync. A lot of the laminate has done it for a long time. LVF started doing it not long ago, which where, you'll press the graining of, let's say in this case, so we can talk about wood, your mineral streaks and your cathedrals, the graining that we press into the tile will follow that. And we have a brand new product called Haddon Stone. It's amazing. And it's so realistic. It looks like a natural stone. And then we've pressed in graining that follows the natural course of a piece of stone that just came out of the quarry. And here's the best part. It's proprietary to Daltile. I love it. Love telling it. So Haddon Stone's our products are really top shelf. We've got an amazing product development team.
Oh, that's awesome. And that seemed really easy for you to come up with those favorites. You knew exactly what was at the top of your mind.
We live and die by products. If you think about everything that we do, it's all about making sure that consumer, that selector, I've started using the word selector versus consumer, the selector, whoever's choosing our products, we want to make sure that they have technology, color, design, shape that makes them happy the way in their mind that they developed it. So they come back and tell people that they purchased Daltile.
Absolutely. Speaking of products, I know that Daltile products are noted for being free of FOCs, PVCs, and allergens. Does having U.S.-based products play into the sustainability at all?
Interesting. That's a good question. I would say, here's the way I would answer it. Not any different than where you make it anywhere else in the world. But
Gotcha.
When you make it domestically, you're not emitting all of the exhaust and things like that. If you're putting it on a ship, you're putting it on a truck to get to the ship to the U.S., all the ports, all that, you're literally going from our plant to a consumer's home or a showroom or wherever. So you cut down your carbon footprint merely on the logistic footprint.
Just out of curiosity, has there ever been a time in Daltile's long history that Daltile has ever felt pressure to offshore production out of the States?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
all of it. You go back and you look at just, any U.S. manufacturer felt it when you were if we were making a product that we were trying to sell for $2.50 and then India or China specifically just are bringing products in and they're selling for half that, it's like, okay, how do you compete on that? So definitely pressure on that. We look at it today as let's use the global manufacturing, global opportunity to source certain products depending on, like, take our countertop business. We have an amazing countertop business. We make the largest 1 quartz slab in the industry. We're adding our second line. It's all in Dixon, Tennessee. We talked about that Tennessee clay. That's all in Dixon, Tennessee. And, our story continues on where we make the product. So it's really a good story to tell for Dow.
And what kind of feedback have you heard from contractors, designers, or selectors, as you call them, about working with a brand that manufactures in the U.S.? Have you seen that be a big topic in their brain, that they're actively looking for a brand that works in the U.S.? Have you heard that kind of feedback from people?
Yeah, I think it's in a couple of different areas. If you look at our showrooms, somebody comes into our showroom and, we don't sell to the public, but we'll select for them and they'll push them out into the field. They're coming in. I don't even know if they're looking for U.S. made products as much as they're like, what do we do? What is this? What do the tariffs mean? I mean, I have friends that didn't realize that we paid the tariffs. They didn't understand even how it worked. So I think there's that pressure. I think on the dealer side, when they're selecting vendors, for sure, they're looking for made in the USA. Daltile is a safe haven. I was up in Oklahoma recently with, someone that owns several ProSources, and he was talking about, he's like, Patrick, you guys are an amazing safe haven, and we want to we want to figure out how to grow that even more. So
it's awesome.
There's opportunities everywhere.
Yeah, I think for sure it comes down to money for a lot of people, right? Like, of course, they want quality and quantity, but especially like you mentioned with the tariffs, people are confused, and then also they don't want to be spending too much money on remodels and products.
For sure.
Looking at the Made in the USA campaign, what is next for that campaign? And are there any exciting plans for this next month? Or do you know if you plan to make this a yearly campaign?
I don't know about yearly. That's a great question. I think we should. I'm a big fan of it. I think, I will tell you, one of the things we're doing in our showrooms is all of our 113 showrooms that can participate. We're going to have a month-long open house. Theme's going to be, taking me out to the ballpark week 1, hot diggity dog week 2, puppuccinos week 3. So I can't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Oh, week 4 is You Scream, I Scream for Daltile. That's good.
Love it.
Like that?
Yes.
So the idea is just come in and we'll highlight the Made in the USA products. We'll talk about how we design. We'll do flat lays and all of that. So the idea is to just, tell that story. But I guess the real question is, or the real answer is, no, we're not highlighting our Made in the USA. We're just emphasizing more of what we're doing. That's what the campaign is. Let's bring it to light. Yeah. We should be telling the story all day long. I talk to our sales team every day. Like, listen, this is the best story. Everybody's talking about where they can't get it. We're here. 72 styles. Yeah. You can't go wrong. And we're going to continue to tell that story. We're going to continue to expand and continue to develop Daltile's future.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea about this campaign because it helps promote that connection with the selectors. They're not only seeing beautiful products, but they're actually getting to know the brand, the history, and then in result, that makes them think of Daltile, maybe top of mind more so than competitors because they know you guys more, right? There's that connection, and people are always looking for human connection. So I think this campaign is very smart and not just great at connecting to consumers, but also education, right? People are always learning about not just your brand, but why you do what you do. And it just promotes that connection. So I love it.
There's pride too. And we need to push it out a little bit more where, we have a huge plant in Oklahoma. And it's like people it's hard to say made in Oklahoma because not all the components of the tile may come from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
People in Oklahoma, as just an example, it's just north of me. They're like, oh, I Haddonstone. I don't think Haddonstone's made there, but as an example, I love that tile, and it's made with our people. There's that.
Yeah.
We have plants in Tennessee. We have multiple plants in Dallas. It's just really tells a great story right now, and a story we need to keep alive. That's very important.
Yes, it gives a sense of community for people that are living around that plant, like you talked about in Oklahoma. How do you see the value of American-made products evolving over the next 5 to 10 years, both for not just Daltile, but the industry as a whole?
Well, I think in many cases, it's not a level playing field for pricing. The cost structure. There's a period of time when China had a negative labor rate, meaning they were overfunding manufacturers and their partners to dump literally products into the U.S. I think this campaign it's very, very intense right now as far as the tariffs, but I think the long-term end game is I think we're going to look at opportunities to expand the manufacturing base on everything. Look, Apple's in the mix. Everybody, where we can do it, we should be doing it here. And it's fantastic. We're the most powerful country in the world, and we should have manufacturing is the core of what makes that power continue on. And I think we just need to feed that.
I completely agree. Is there anything else exciting coming up for Daltile over this next year?
Oh, we got products coming. We got great products. Amazing technology. We'll probably be talking to the ProSource community more about our countertop program kind of coming up here at the back half of the year. We've got some really good solutions there, great styles and designs. But, we design products for the end user and that selector we've been talking about, Molly. Again, for that commercial, whether it's Main Street or specified, that production home builder, whether it's, the Lennars of the world, the large production home fast builders, custom home builders, and then that consumer market. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to take market share where we can, where it's smart for us, our Mohawk Industry shareholders, and ultimately for our partners like ProSource. So just hitch your wagon, and we're gonna ride this. We're gonna ride this future together. And by the way, a big thank you to everyone at ProSource. We are thankful for every piece of tile that you provide to us, and we know the future is bright for our partnership.
Absolutely. And anyone listening, if you're interested in learning more about Daltile, you can check out the Daltile website. We also have a lot of writing on the ProSource website, and check out your local ProSource Wholesale for Daltile samples, or just ask an account manager at a showroom to learn more. But thank you so much.
I'm here.
Or Patrick Warren. You can stalk his LinkedIn like I did before we met. But thank you so much, Patrick, for coming on and just sharing more about this campaign. I'm sure this won't be the last time Daltile's on the podcast. So as always, I look forward to talking to you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Molly. Thanks for your time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us today on the ProSource Podcast. Please like and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Also, follow us on social media, check out our website at ProSourceWholesale.com, and visit your local ProSource Wholesale showroom for all of your home remodeling needs.